Good morning, everybody. My name is Gabby. We are here with Betty. This is her second week with us here at Best Paw Forward. She is a part of our board and train program. And what we are working with her today on is a little bit of her leash skills. So, when you started out last week and saw our leash with her, we were inside in a very low distraction environment. Now we've upped that level of distraction a little bit. You can see she's a little bit more excited out here. There's a lot more smells. It's actually a very windy day today, so it does make it a lot more challenging. So when you get her home, you want to make sure you are starting off the same way that we did here. You're starting off inside in a low distraction environment, working your way up. We are using that front clip of that harness that helps in preventing some of the pulling behavior. So make sure when you work on leash that you are using that front clip. Now, something with her, she is a very excited pup. She does tend to jump up. So we want to make sure we're not reinforcing that jumping behavior and not allowing her to continue that behavior. So we do have her on leash if need be. What we can do is we can step on that leash, prevent her from doing that jumping behavior, but we want to make sure that we're not reinforcing. So right there, you can see Victoria stepped on that leash. She got really excited. Again, that wind is blowing. It makes it a little bit more exciting. But you want to make sure you're not letting her get away with those behaviors and continue to do those behaviors. Because the more she does this, the more she's going to continue to do it, okay? So we don't want to, if she's jumping up, we don't want to start petting her. We don't want to, pay a bunch of attention to her. We want to just tell her no. We'll step on the leash. We'll get her refocused before we actually start moving again. Make sure we have that focus.
No. Sit. Let's go.
Good. And it is really difficult, especially with small dogs, because they are smaller, they're lower to the ground, so they tend to have a harder time with something like leash because they want to jump up, they want to get closer to that food. Another thing you can do is move that food kind of away from them so that you don't want to have it in your hand, you don't want to have it maybe on that side. You might have to move it behind you if they get really hyper focused on that food. So there you can see Victoria showed her an empty hand.
No.
And again, today she's having a little bit more of a challenge just because it is windy out here. Yesterday when we were walking back and forth in here, she was doing an excellent job. She wasn't doing all that jumping behavior. Another thing I want to note, with puppies especially, they tend to get very excited, very worked up, and they can start to get frustrated. So you can see here, she's not focusing. So what we're going to do is we are going to pause this video. We are going to put her away for a little bit of a break, and then we're going to get her out again in a little bit and try again. So we're going to pause this, and hopefully this will stay paused while she has a little bit of a break in her crate so you guys can see. I want you to see this though, because I want you to be able to do this at home and work through it at home. Okay, she's actually paying great attention there. Let's try moving forward one more time. If she continues that jumping, we'll put her away.
Good girl.
But she's actually walking very nicely there. Perfect. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. Just a little bit of time stepping on that leash, preventing her from jumping up. We'll continue moving. Good. Very nice. And only giving her that reinforcement when her paws are on the ground, all four paws. Because the more you reinforce her when her paws are up, the more she is going to jump.
No. Sit.
So she's only getting that reinforcement.
Let's go.
So she's jumping up. We're going to pause this and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so we are back with Betty now. We put her away in her crate for about 5 minutes, gave her a little bit of a break, a little bit of time to relax and hang out for a bit. Okay, so now we are back out and we're gonna work on this again. But again, I want to make sure that you guys are seeing this so you see how to work through this at home. She is a very young puppy, so we want to keep these sessions short. Okay, there she went to jump up. We just told her, we're not going to reinforce. Good, and there she's walking nicely, not pulling ahead, not jumping up, and she gets that reinforcement, okay? So, very important with a puppy. We are keeping those sessions short, and if we see that she's starting to get frustrated or she's starting to get really worked up, or if you are starting to get frustrated too at home, then put her away for a little bit of a break, get her out again, okay, and try again. Now, in the beginning, when you start in low distraction, you work to a new environment, you want to make sure you're reinforcing frequently, okay, especially with a young puppy, keep her focused in. So we're giving that frequent reinforcement every couple of steps. Good. And we want to keep her on one side of us. It doesn't matter which side, whether it's the left or the right. Determine that at the beginning of the session and make sure she stays on that side throughout the entire session. Now, she does not need to walk directly next to you. She can walk a little in front of you. She can walk a little behind you, as long as she is not pulling ahead. Now, that was great. She made that turn. She's checking in. She's not jumping up. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to set our dogs up for success. So if that means putting them away for a little bit of a break so that they do succeed, that is perfectly okay, especially when they're young. So it's going to take some time to be able to work up to the point of being able to take her for really long walks. But again, you want to make sure you're gradually working up to that point because we want her to be successful. But she's doing a great job with this. You guys have any questions, let us know in the comments below. But you can see what a difference just putting her away in her crate to settle down for a couple of minutes can do. So let us know if you have questions, and we will see you next time.